I'm Rae Pardini Matson, and this is the Coffee Monday podcast. Here, we talk about all the things, the messy, the meaningful, and everything in between that fuels your week. I sit down with people who are figuring it out, leveling it up, and keeping it real all along the way. All right, friends, let's pour into it.
I feel like this is long overdue. I feel like we talk about all the things and now we get to share them with everyone.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. I could be here all day if needed.
Thank you for being here.
Of course. Happy to be here.
Dear friend, one of the smartest people that I know, leadership development executive consultant, mom of two, proud wifey, all the things.
All
great
the things.
friend, great sister, great daughter, all of it. I'm so happy you're here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And right back at you.
Oh, thanks, Gia. It's funny. I think we initially met and got connected through your brother.
We sure did. Yes.
Our younger brother and I went to high school together. One of my good friends, love him, but truly you've become a closer friend than he is, and now you guys
he's a little bit upset about it, kind of, not really, but he's like, he stole my friend. I said, I absolutely did steal your friend.
But do you remember when we had coffee at Starbucks?
I do.
Talking about first impressions, which we're going to talk about, your journey.
Yes.
That was how many years ago, Gia?
2016.
Wow. What? Where is time?
Yeah.
And I remember you launched in October. And so almost 10 years. Wow.
And it's evolved tremendously.
I know. And even when you started it, I feel like we could talk about that, but it was different than you originally thought too.
Absolutely.
Right?
Completely different.
Right?
How it is now is not what I expected it when we first launched.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk through journey. Born and raised in Fresno, went to school here all through high school. And then
so yes, born and raised here in Fresno, went to Bullard High, then went to UCLA and got my degree in psychology with a minor in workplace studies. Worked in LA for a year after graduation, and I always knew I wanted to do grad school. Wasn't quite sure what that looked like. Definitely in the psychology field. Applied to all grad schools in California, and then on a whim applied to NYU in New York, and I was like, that could be fun. Let's just see what happens.
Have you ever been to New York before you moved?
I think one time, but for like a weekend. I said, I'll never go, but let's just see what happens. Well, end up getting into NYU, and I was like, this is kind of an opportunity of a lifetime. Moved with two of my best girlfriends, picked up, moved across the country.
So fun.
Yeah, was there for 4 years, did my program, then got my master's in what's called industrial and organizational psychology.
Amazing.
Then worked for a couple years, and then actually started dating the boy that I grew up down the street from. And
I love it.
I always knew I wanted to move back to California, be by my family and all the things, but definitely had a great time of our life. But I could see the relationship going to the next level, and it was time. So moved back home.
So you guys started long distance?
We sure did.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew you guys knew each other before. I knew all that. Obviously, we've been friends forever. But I didn't. Okay, so you started long distance. How was that? I guess lots of phone. That was like pre-FaceTime, right?
It was like pre-texting. A lot of emails, a lot of phone calls.
Cute emails.
But no texting. Yeah. This was before texting, which is wild.
But
it actually forced us to really, really get to know each other.
I would think so.
And just a lot of conversations, and it just worked. And moved back got a job and all the things.
Okay, so you got your master's. You moved back to Fresno, not having been here since high school, right? How was that?
It was easier than expected. Everyone thought the transition was going to be very difficult, but ended up getting a job completely aligned with my degree and what I wanted to do, and so that helped tremendously.
Amazing.
And I did New York. I did it well, and did it for 4 years.
With your friends. How
with
fun.
my two best girlfriends, and made great friends, and just kind of, I knew unless I wanted to settle out there permanently, I kind of had done everything that I needed to do. And so it was like the next phase of life. I was ready. No regrets.
I love it. And your family's here. Yep. Obviously, your now husband at this point, you're married, is here. And then your first job back, was that the one at PG&E?
Yes, I got hired with PG&E doing leadership coaching and development.
Amazing.
For all the managers and supervisors from Fresno to Bakersfield. So just completely aligned with my master's, and that just gave me tremendous experience, great confidence in the field that I am now. And I kind of owe my consulting and my job now to that foundation.
I love that. So did you do like one-on-one trainings, group trainings, combination of both? How did that work?
It mostly one-on-one and group trainings.
Okay.
And then while I was at PG&E, that department got eliminated. So then I had to take a big leap of faith to transition to teaching leadership workshops for all their managers and supervisors up in the Bay Area. And that was a huge stretch. I've never done that, but teaching 3-day workshops for 30 plus people that have been with the company forever, but in the leadership field. So that's where I got comfortable presenting in front of people.
Yeah. Wow. And I imagine you have to dive into the culture of the company too.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
That's a lot of research and time and
a lot of
training
preparation.
Yes.
A lot of behind the scenes
Yeah.
work. I always tell clients that what you don't see, there's so much that goes in behind the scenes than what is just presented. And the biggest compliment is when somebody says, gosh, your job is really easy. I said, whoa, that's actually the best compliment, because it's not easy at all,
right,
but you make it look easy. But hours and hours of practicing in front of the mirror, knowing my content, knowing if people ask me questions, what do I do on the fly? Facilitation management, almost like classroom management. You have some participant that kind of takes a left turn. Like, how do you gear the conversation back when you're teaching 30 people at a time? And yeah.
Wow. So, and it was in the Bay Area, you said. So this is like pre-days of Zoom even. So you physically had to
almost
be there.
every week. Left on a Monday, just about. Left on a Monday, came back on a Friday, taught in San Ramon. That was our major training center there.
Yeah.
Obviously pre-kids.
I was going to say, had you had kids yet? Were you pregnant? Where were you?
Oh, yeah. Then I got pregnant and could barely stand and teach. I was so sick.
Oh, no.
And everyone felt very bad for me because like, Gia, you're turning a little green in the face. I was like, give me a minute.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, but that was all pre-kids. And that's kind of why I switched to running my own business was after my kids were born.
So it was after both, obviously. That's when we met. But like...
After both children.
Yeah.
Is when I started my own.
Okay. And talk to the group of the listeners about first impressions and your relationship with Anne in New York and how that sort of transitioned to your work here and launching your own concept and all of that. I thought that was really cool.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
It's also kind of the next segue on how things evolved. While I was in New York, I had a side job of what's called First Impressions Consulting, and it was a boutique consulting firm that is based upon a book written by psychologist, Dr. Anne Rae, and it was all the social psychology that goes into making a good first impression. But what was so unique about this business is that we took the book, we took the concepts, and we actually applied it to real life. So I would have mock interviews, mock presentations. People wanted to know how they came across on a first date or a networking event, and I would give the client on-the-spot feedback based upon the principles that were researched in this book. And that gave me my first taste of working one-on-one with people.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm pretty good at it. I'm very relatable to people. I can relate to people. I can make people feel comfortable.
Totally.
Where then that's such a huge key is like there was never any judgment. I just gave them credit for wanting to improve. And if I could be a part of that journey, it was so fulfilling to me. And that set the foundation for my one-on-one consulting work.
Yeah. And you shared with me all, like you mentioned, all types of consulting. So from personal life, dating to CEOs negotiating big deals, right?
It's all the principles apply. The first impressions principles apply no matter who you are talking to. You just tailor the not the content, but the strategy or the approach depending on who you are working with.
I don't want to give away all your cards, but I would love for you to share maybe like a few of the best practices of what makes strong first impressions.
Yes, and
right?
it's so simple, but you just have to be aware, and you have to be conscious, and you have to be thinking about it. I always tell people, I'm like, first impressions are free. You don't need to
Right?
buy anything.
Yeah.
You don't need to do anything, but you have to use it. I mean, the first and foremost is your body language, your smiling, your eye
Shoulders
contact,
back, posture, smiling.
it's the majority of your communication meaning comes from your body language and your tone of voice. How easy to do if you are just aware. So,
But
yeah,
some people don't understand. Like
no,
clearly,
a lot of
right?
people do not understand.
Right? Like there
A lot.
is no self-awareness there, clearly.
Right. And one concept that for my business now, what I'm working with is emotional intelligence and social awareness, and really
gosh,
working on emotional
amazing.
intelligence, which is a relatively new field in the psychology world, but it's fascinating, is knowing your own emotions, other people's emotions, and then acting appropriately. Sounds so easy, but it is not.
It's not.
It's
It's like mind-blowing to
Yeah.
me that people don't feel that. They don't feel
No, they
the
don't.
energy that they're giving off, or if they're uninviting or unapproachable. Like,
Yep.
isn't that a huge part? Like
Absolutely.
everything you're saying, posture, smile, engaging,
Welcoming
welcoming,
people.
like those sort of things are breaking down the barriers of intimidation, right? So you can have an
Absolutely.
approachable.
Absolutely.
sort of aura.
I always tell people, make the first move. Go up, introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Gia. How are you doing? And probably 90% of the people I talk to, they're nervous or afraid to do it. I said,
Yeah.
it breaks the ice. It makes you approachable. It makes you friendly. Very simple. Just go up and introduce yourself.
Friendly, such a quality that is so underrated.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like that's a great
Yes.
quality, to be friendly,
engaging,
you know?
inviting, friendly.
Engaging, yes.
Make the other person feel valued and seen and heard. Not, again, there's no price tag to it. You could do it for free. Put a
Right.
smile on your face.
Literally.
Yeah.
So you're teaching that one-on-one through your work with First Impressions.
That was First Impressions
You're
work.
translating a lot of that work plus new sort of experience and opportunity through PG&E. So fast forward to, you have 2 young boys at the time, or you're pregnant. And it was just a lot to manage work and travel.
Yeah,
and having children and all
The
that.
PG&E
right?
role was a wonderful role, but it was a big role.
Yeah,
Obviously.
Sounds like it, yeah.
And I learned very early on in motherhood that balance was a huge self-care item for me. Balance, meaning balance with children, balance with work, balance with family, friends. And so I realized that I stayed home with my children when they were real little, and as they got older, I craved the work. I craved that stimulation, but I wanted it on my own terms and to do what I love. And so I decided to start my own business,
Amazing.
make it happen.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's so relatable, I think, for a lot of women
Yeah.
because they feel pulled in so many directions. I'm reading this book. Have we talked about this, The Power Pause? Have I talked to you about this book?
You told me about it. I haven't read it
I'm
yet.
literally telling everybody.
Yes.
I can't.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
surprised. And it's just really great because it speaks to exactly what you're saying of sort of like intentionally going back into work after having a very sort of established career, choosing to spend time with your children, and what sort of re-entering the workforce
Yes.
looks like.
Yes.
And she mentioned there are 2 key factors into what women are looking for when they re-enter, which is literally what you're echoing, which is passion and
Yes.
flexibility.
Yes. Yes.
Makes sense.
Absolutely.
Right? If
To
we're
me,
gonna
there's
take
no
time
price
away
tag.
from
Yeah, there's no price tag on passion or flexibility. And if
I
you
agree.
are a hard worker and you're aligned, you're going to do a good job.
right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and you enjoy what you're doing.
Absolutely. That's half
That's
the
where
battle.
the passion comes
That's
in.
where
right?
the passion comes in. Make sure you're in
Right?
alignment.
So here you are. How many years out of work were you? How old were the boys ish? Because my perception of time
Yeah.
is really
Well,
bad.
it feels like a very long time ago.
Right?
Yeah, probably 2-3 years.
Okay. So, which in the scheme of life is nothing, but probably felt like, okay,
sure,
a
you-
significant amount of time.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, how'd you decide what you were going to do? You knew you wanted to do something on your own terms. You
I
said.
knew I wanted to do something on my own. And I said, I thought about the First Impressions work that I did in New York. And I said, well, I could do that. I could do that here in town. So I called Dr. Ann Demaray and I said, it's been a while since we've chatted. What do you think about me launching a West Coast branch of First Impressions Consulting? And she was wonderful. And she said, absolutely, Gia, go for it. Do all the things. And I said, okay. So now I had this business in my hands. So I said, know it.
Yeah.
I can do it. How in the world do I get the word out there?
Right.
And then here enters Rae Pardini Matson to spread the word on First Impressions Consulting. Yes, and that's where I hired RPM to help me get the word out. And then it was history.
And then the rest is history.
The rest is history.
I do feel like you have such an established reputation. You already did.
Yeah.
But it's just like, hey guys, I'm back. Here's what I'm doing. So that was like such a fun and
but
natural story to tell for you. But now most all of your clients, I mean, I'm sure obviously they search and there's that component, right? We've worked together over the years for media opportunities and speaking opportunities and all of that, social media. But a lot of your clients refer you, which I feel like is gold. Is it not?
Well, that's the
Isn't
best.
that everything?
That is the best when they refer and they rehire. To me, that's the ultimate compliment is, they, a lot of times clients are like, gee, I don't know if you do this, but, or can you give me an idea on this? And so that means that they trust me. They are like the work, the product that I'm delivering. And a lot of it, again, I think it's the relationship and the trust. The trust is huge in this type of business because it has to be for it to work. And
amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, Coffee Monday friends. It's Rae Pardini Matson here with a cozy little update from my go-to coffee spot, Dutch Bros. Their 2025 fall menu just dropped, and trust me, these drinks are everything you need to kick off sweater season. First up, the Caramel Pumpkin Brulee, a returning fan fave that's basically fall in a cup. Think creamy caramel and all the pumpkin flavors. Next, another beloved classic, the Cookie Butter Latte. Sweet and perfect for those chilly mornings when you just need something comforting. And the big news this year, the brand new Candied Cherry Rebel. It's bold, sweet, and the perfect energy boost with a fall twist. Whether you're headed to work, a football game, or chasing the kiddos around the pumpkin patch, these are all great options to complement the fall season. I love that Dutch Bros has something for everyone, so grab your fall fave, snap a pic, and don't forget to check in with Dutch Bros on their app or Instagram at Dutch Bros Fresno for the latest happenings.
So this is totally from my perspective. You could be like, Rae, no, that's not totally accurate. But when we started talking about the concept of first impression and bringing it here, a lot of the work that you did in New York was one-on-one. And what I'm seeing just from outside looking in as far as the work that you're doing with clients here is more like group focused, whether it's teams, managing teams, presenting, doing workshops, that sort of thing. Would you say that's accurate?
Yes, I would say that is accurate. And what's interesting is what Fresno and the Central Valley really craved and gravitated towards was actually what I went to school for, was the organizational psychology, the leadership development, the building up strong and positive culture. And so my business model actually shifted more toward the organizational concepts and the theories and to create this culture, this team, these individuals in relation to these psychological principles. So my business now is a small element. We talk about first impressions because that goes into anything that you do, but it's really the organizational development concepts.
Which is amazing. And so, like, you've had clients for years. Which is, like you said, like biggest
the
compliment,
ultimate
right?
compliment.
Rehire and refer. Or renew and refer, however you want to put that. I love that. And I feel like you've definitely made it your own. You've incorporated so much of your personal experience and your background, your education to providing such value to businesses here, which is tremendous. Talk through, like, I'd say maybe top 3 sort of concepts of your teachings, like most popular.
Okay, so
you're really, side note, not to interrupt you, but you are really good about customizing your teachings too.
I do.
So if a business comes to you and says, I want Gia, you to train my leaders on, positive reinforcement and culture, a positive culture building, whatever that may look like, you really do your time and research into customizing it for that business, that culture, etc.
Yes.
So I realize my question is kind of fluid because you do customize things, but overall, I guess for those that are listening, like concepts.
Right. So no two workshops are the same. All right. So again, like what you said, Rae, I talk to the leaders ahead of time. What's their current reality? What's their culture? What are they struggling with? What are they good at? So I really get some base knowledge before it. And then I have my concepts, and then I create it totally unique for the organization or the individual. And I think that's really the sweet spot, because it's not just an off the shelf training, or it's not just typing into Chat GPT, teach my team how on communication, right? You can do that, but it's going to be, anyone can do that. But I think where the magic is taking these concepts and integrating it with the current reality, the environment, the skill level, the motivation level, all of the things for these individual organizations. But in regards to probably the top concepts that people want is communication, number one. I tell folks I could teach 3 days on communication. That's how big of a topic it is.
You also do really great at specializing in having hard conversations.
Yes.
Which is in line with the communication realm,
it's
right?
in line with communication. The second one has been really popular lately is conflict resolution.
Okay, so that's kind of bleeding into
with just hard conversations, how to deal with conflict. I always tell clients conflict is not a bad thing. It's actually natural, and it's uncommon if you don't have conflict, but it's how you handle that conflict, how you deal with it, how do you address the person respectfully and openly. And when you have successful, positive conflict resolution, your team is actually stronger. People feel they trust the leader more. They you work through the hard things, and you actually are more solid after it versus avoiding it or letting it build up or exploding, right? There's conflict is always going to be there. It's how you have it.
Totally.
And it's a really, really hard thing to do. I tell clients I teach this stuff, but it takes all my might to do it when I have to do it personally. I get nervous. I have to prepare. I have to do all the things. But there are tools to help you do it successfully.
And to your point, in being prepared with how you manage it, right?
And again, that's emotional intelligence. Like if you are fired up and you are mad, that is not the right time to have that conversation. You have to get your stress level down. You have to be regulated. You can't be in that fight or flight state. And you have to be neutral to use what we say our prefrontal cortex to make executive functioning decisions. So conflict resolution, communication. The last one that probably is the most popular would be personal accountability. Yeah, these are deep concepts.
I was gonna say.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So that feels kind of, to your point, a little bit more personal, no? Do you do that one-on-one?
No, we could do it in
concepts
teams.
for teams?
Yes. I mean, yes, we could do it one-on-one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's where we get into the nitty-gritty of I hold the mirror up to folks and be like, okay, I'm just going to play devil's advocate here. And that's my job is to give you this outside perspective. How do you think you're contributing to this situation? Or have you done anything that has contributed to the situation, even if you didn't mean for it to happen?
Yeah, wow.
Or what haven't you done? That's sometimes more revealing too. Well, you haven't had that conversation, so you can't blame the other person if you have not stepped up to the plate and carried your own weight to do this.
Yeah, wow.
Interesting. Yeah.
I bet that would be hard for some people to hear the truth, no?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's what they're hiring you to do.
That's what they're hiring me for.
So they have to be prepared for that,
and
right?
I preface it, so this is a non-judgmental space. It's confidential. But I am going to put the mirror up. I'm going to ask some questions. It might make you uncomfortable a little bit, but this is for you to process. And that's the beauty of having these sessions, because it gives you carved out, uninterrupted time for you to think, to process, to plan, to be intentional with your next steps moving forward.
Love that. Love that. And then we've done some trainings together. That's been fun. Yes. Confidence and communication.
Oh, the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love working with you.
I love working with you, obviously. More presentation, public facing perception. I handle the media side. It's a good balance.
We're a great
That's
team.
been fun.
I love it.
I know we are.
Yeah.
And you were a speaker at the women's conference a few years ago, speaking about best practices of all the things that we're sharing. How to make a strong first impression, a memorable one, and sort of demand that executive presence.
Yes.
So what I find so unique about your business model is you're training CEOs to teenagers.
Yes.
I mean, how fun for you. And it felt like you are just so calm, cool, collected. And you're like, yeah, just another day, bouncing from something completely different, like two completely different industries even too.
Right. Oh, yes.
Because you don't specialize in any certain industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's the social awareness. That's the emotional intelligence. But that's also knowing your material so well and being so prepared that you can pivot on a dime.
So let me
Yes.
ask you this. Not specific to industry or, person, but who is like a dream client to you? When somebody reaches out to you and says, Gia, I need your help with X, Y, and Z, and that fits the mold of what you're offering, but there are certain sort of criteria that you make sure that they're open to. Like, what does that look like for you?
So I tell people, it's not going to be a quick one-time training or a one-time meeting. The magic happens. A lot of times organizations will hire me for a training. And I tell them, I say, training is great. That's a great first step.
Yes. First step.
I said, that's just information. It's what are you doing with that information?
Which you're so good about the accountability and the implementation of that. Yeah,
right. And that's where everything. I check in with my clients and we follow up and then little by little we chip away. And I tell folks, like, if that does not work, we are not going to keep doing it. Throw it out, get something new in until we find your right balance. Is the exact recipe for you. Training is just the foundation. It's the barely scratching the surface. So my dream client is one that hires me for training, and then that splinters off into individual work. Because then everyone's heard the common language, and we customize it to that person. If somebody wants behavior change or an organization wants behavior change, that is the path to it.
And I think too, as the consultant, I imagine people are like, I don't want to say taking you more seriously, but like,
you're the expert in the field.
It's almost
and
like
people are investing, and
right.
it's sending a message. And I remember, Rae, when we first started, had a very big emphasis on, I don't want people to see this as a negative.
Totally.
I want them to see this as a positive, as an investment, as a way to develop themselves. So that just the opposite of you're not hiring me because you're in trouble. You're
wrong.
Hiring me to take you to the next level. And that's a very clear distinction that I communicate to my clients. That's awesome. Your employer is hiring me to help you. Like, that's amazing that they have the foresight and to be that proactive to do this.
Well, you made the best analogy before when it's like, athletes have coaches all the time.
Multiple coaches,
specialized coaches.
Absolutely.
You have strength training, you have physical therapy, you have all
pitching,
specialties.
You have hitting,
yes. So essentially
wouldn't
you're
you?
a specialized coach for business professionals in a sense.
And to develop people, absolutely.
I love that sort of perspective because I agree. I think naturally when a consultant comes in or somebody that feels like they're sort of like changing things up, that people think something's wrong, and maybe that's
there
partially
are
the case.
Yes, a lot of times there is, but that's
talk
okay.
through, Gia, and there's many principles of yours that I love referencing and think about often, but specifically the bell curve of change. So I find it interesting, and I just had a conversation about this earlier actually, on how some people are more adaptable to change than others, right? Like we've joked about this all the time.
Oh yeah.
I can handle change in the drop of a hat. My husband takes longer to process. Like everybody that you work with has different personality types, different strengths, different dynamics. Talk through the sort of like, is it technically called like the bell curve of
it's the change curve.
The change curve.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a bell curve, but it's a natural curve that goes like this. And the thing with change is people have to go through this curve. Some people get through the bottom part quicker than others, and that's where leaders can come in to help facilitate that for their employees.
Yeah.
But the natural response is going to dip down, even if the change is for the better. Change is hard for people, but change is inevitable. It's the only constant in life is change.
Right.
Right. So that
true.
the irony there.
Yes.
And I think leaders, if they understand that it is natural for their employees, their team, or even in your personal life, when there is a change, it is natural to go through this curve. And similarly, it follows the grieving curve. When somebody passes away, it's the grief curve. And it follows the same shape as the grief curve because in essence, it changes. You're grieving something from the past.
Right, true.
A process, a relationship, a job, whatever it is.
Yeah,
You're
so
grieving
true.
something from the past. But where leaders have the power is how they can support their employees to get them through that bottom part, to get them into acceptance and reality.
So what advice would you have for a leader going through, let's say, a structural change in
Right.
their company?
I say my advice would be patient with your team because most likely as a leader, you've known about this change for a while. You've had time to think about it. You've had time to process it. You've had time to wrap your arms around, oh, how is this going to affect me personally, professionally, all the things. So in essence, the leader has worked themselves through this change curve more so. However, when you communicate that to your employees, they're just starting this journey.
Yeah, it's like their first time hearing it,
And
right?
so a lot of leaders can get frustrated of why the team's not on board. Come on, you have to get on board. Why aren't they doing the new processes? Why
Yeah.
aren't you using the new technology?
Yeah.
It's like, because you are farther ahead on this journey than they are. So let them catch up. They're going to have to catch up to you. So don't get
Yes.
frustrated or upset, but support.
The beautiful floral centerpiece you see on our shows is styled by floral artist Darcy Hovsepian of DH Floral. And the flowers themselves are actually grown and sourced from local flower farms right here in our Central Valley, thanks to the creation of the San Joaquin Flower Collective. As the first and only source for 100% locally grown flowers in the valley, the San Joaquin Flower Collective's biggest mission is to reduce the need for imported flowers for flower growers and lovers alike. By streamlining the ordering process with an online shopping experience, prioritizing collaboration over competition, and raising awareness for our local flower movement through weekly flower pop-ups on Wednesdays from 10 to 12, they're changing the way farm-grown flowers are bought and sold in the valley. As a wholesaler, a retailer, or just a flower lover, you can follow along at SJ Flower Collective on Instagram for their latest happenings and info on their weekly Wednesday Fresh Bloom pop-ups.
Patience is a tricky one.
Oh, gosh, yes.
I think I could be more patient.
Yeah.
I just, yeah. Well, okay, that goes into what I definitely want to dive into, which is just like personality traits and strengths and how you have to sort of manage that. Different personalities, obviously, different strengths, different weaknesses, different schools of thought. And managing people is not for the weak. I mean,
Oh, no.
Right?
No, it's not for everybody.
right?
However, you will be more successful if you have some of these tools in your tool belt.
Right.
And yeah,
Right.
I have that series with Leadership Level Up where it's a guidebook on leadership on how to lead people. A lot of times leaders get into that position of leadership because they've done their job really, really well, but they don't have the skills and training to lead. And nobody teaches you that really, but I have created a guidebook on giving you just a plethora of tools and concepts. You're not going to use all of them, obviously, but you
Right.
can pull out stuff to at least set you up for success more.
So now with your your own concept, and managing your time and your business, you mentioned like balance was like very important to you, right? How do you personally find balance? I mean, you obviously have a dream situation. You get to pick your own schedule. You get to book things, you know, however you'd like. But also you're a doer.
Yes.
You're an achiever.
Yes.
You're going to take the opportunity when you see it. So how do you personally sort of manage your time and your schedule and find balance?
Yes.
Still find balance.
So for my schedule, I typically know how long things are going to take me to prepare.
Okay.
Okay, so I start with that.
Yeah.
And then I back my way into it. So, or back my way out of it. So if I'm doing a workshop, let's say, that I've never taught before, or I have to create it from scratch, or what, that's going to take me some time.
Right.
So
And you know that about yourself.
Yes. Well, of
Yeah.
course. And I know how long it takes me to process, how long it takes me to learn, how long
Yeah.
it takes me to practice it, to make it my own, so it doesn't look like I'm just reading from a script. Then I back my way into that and actually schedule work time
Yeah.
on your calendar, defining the boundaries. I've learned a lot about boundaries, like how to define it and saying politely decline if you can't do it, or if it's too much or it doesn't serve you. And then fitting in the puzzle pieces from there. Or if I know I have a trip coming up, I'm not going to schedule a workshop the day before the trip.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
so that's
it's a
interesting.
lot of
you're
planning.
backing up into the prep first. That's
here's the
smart.
deadline, or here's the concept, back my way into it.
Yeah. Love that.
Because
Love that.
right.
Love that.
Because things take time to
Yeah.
create. Something takes time to be. If I'm considered an expert, or people are going to be expecting a level of service, which I would hope that they would, I want to deliver the best product for them. I'm not going to do it halfway. Actually, I can't. It's not in my DNA to do just something halfway.
Halfway.
I want it to be elevated. I want it to be the best.
I love that, which is why they hire you and
Right,
continue to
right,
hire you
right.
and refer you and all of that. Are there certain industries you're finding you're stronger in, or is it kind of all across the board?
It's all across the board. And that's the
Really?
beauty of this,
love
is that these concepts apply no matter what industry
Love
you are in.
that. Love that.
Just the types of questions change. And the client is the expert, so they are going to tell me what they need to know, what I need to know. My job is to ask the questions and to provide them with the theory and the best practices.
Love that. Love that. What are some like best practices for, and I don't, again, it's like hard because I have all the questions for you, but I don't want to like give away all the cards. Let's do one sort of piece of advice for somebody that is trying to manage conflict, a hard conversation maybe. Is there like a starting point that you
Absolutely.
feel like, okay, let's start here?
First one, you have to be calm. In order for you to think clearly, you cannot be in this stressful state. Okay, so you have to get
Easier said than done. though.
easier said than done.
Like, what
right? A
gets
lot
you
of this
calm?
it sounds, oh yeah, no problem, but to actually put in place, it's very hard. The second one is, what are the facts? Not the story you're telling yourself, not what you think the story is, but what are the actual facts? So what's a fact? Something that's specific, measurable, observable by all.
Yeah.
Not why it happened, not the
Yeah.
intent, but the facts. And the third one would
And
be,
what do they say? There's three sides to every story. Essentially two people involved.
and then the truth. Right. Yeah. Your side, my
that's-
side, and the truth.
Right. So that's the
Okay.
facts essentially, right?
Right. So the truth. And the third one would be your intent. So
Intent. Okay.
this is huge.
Your
Why
intentions.
do you want to have this conversation with somebody? What is your intent? My intent, Ray, is for us to have a good friendship. My intent, husband, is for us to have an open and healthy, communicative marriage.
Love that.
To have a good relationship. So what is your intent? And once you clarify your intent, it softens it a little bit. It's like, oh, we're having this conversation because we want something bigger and better.
Not because there's like a personal agenda or something. Is that
No.
what you're getting at?
Yes, it's like,
Okay.
I want us to have a good marriage. So I'm bringing up something hard. It's going to be hard for me to talk about. But my end goal, what's your end goal? My end goal is for us to be here. So I believe in order for us to get here, we have to talk about this. And then lastly, in regards to having hard conversations, is you make it about yourself, and not about the other person. So in other words,
See, interesting. I would think opposite. So tell me what you mean by
so
that.
the minute you say, you did this, you did
Okay,
that, the
okay,
minute you
okay.
say you, it's like,
Yeah,
they're going to become
yeah,
defensive
guns,
and shut
yeah.
down. And then nobody's listening to anything. And then you just spiral out of control.
Mm-hmm.
But if I say, Ray, I want to have this kind of hard conversation with you. Something happened and it doesn't make me, it doesn't sit right with me.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say, no, Gia, you're wrong.
Right, because you're talking about your feelings.
It's about, when this
Yes.
happened, this is how it made me feel. But then you
Yes.
open up the conversation for them to give their side of the story or their inputs like, oh, no, or to clarify their intent. I didn't mean for that to happen. That wasn't my intent. So
Yeah.
it gives you, so now you're in dialogue, not a monologue.
Love that.
And that's the key with
And
conflict.
who are they to question your feelings, right?
Well, right. It's like even though, oh, I didn't mean for it to come across that
Right.
way, but that's how I took it.
But it did.
Okay, so now
Yeah.
let's figure this out and move forward. Let's resolve this instead of holding it in and being mad, and then you split off like this, and
Yeah.
then things are just too far gone. But you
That's
talk
so
about
good.
yourself, your intent, the facts, and you make it conversational. It's not one way. And it's like people say, the louder you talk, the less people hear.
Yeah, that's so true. And also to your point, I think natural human instinct is the defensiveness of it,
You protect yourself.
right?
Yes, someone's questioning it, so you
Yes.
protect yourself.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
once you get into that defensive mode, all bets are off because nobody's even listening.
Yeah, it's not productive.
It's not productive.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Love
and
that.
sometimes you have to recenter it over and over. Okay, I feel like we're getting off track here. Let's bring it back to this. Or let's take a pause. Let's revisit it when everyone's cooled off.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a whole
Or
strategy.
timing. Yeah. Oh gosh, we can get into that, right? Like timing of, like you said, when everybody gets cooled off and people are more level-headed and all that. Because I do think sometimes too, instinct is to sort of act in the moment. Which
You don't want
isn't
it to go too
always-
far past the incident, but where there's enough time for both people to think rationally.
Right.
There's also a quote, I love quotes that says, speak when you are angry and you'll make the best speech you'll ever regret.
That is spot on.
Do not speak when you are angry.
Right?
Yeah.
It's so
You
true.
will regret it.
That is so
You will say
True.
things that you will regret.
that you
or
don't
you'll write, if
mean,
don't
or-
email when you are angry or
Yes.
text when you are angry.
Yes. You hit on a really good point too earlier about AI and how it's affecting all industries. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it's safe to say our
The world
whole
has
world,
changed as we know it.
right?
Yeah.
But I do love what you mentioned too about the personalized approach that you take. And I think there's a lot that's obviously missing and room for improvement. And I'm sure we'll see in our lifetime as it relates to the usage of AI and its complexities. But it doesn't showcase, a real human. Taking into account real reactions and real
Right.
tone and real body language.
We still have
and-
to interact with
Literally.
each other.
Literally.
Right? And the discrepancy is getting larger
Yes.
and larger with the phones, with the electronics, all the things that
Yes.
interpersonal discrepancy is getting, the gap is getting
It's
bigger.
wild.
And,
Yes. Wild.
it's interesting time. But I think the world has shifted as we know it. It's like the Industrial Revolution of our time.
You think? That's
Yes.
wild. I just got the chills.
Yes, it completely
I mean,
is.
you're right.
I mean, this is like the internet coming into our lives, right?
I'm terrified for our children, to be honest with you.
It's
I mean, I shouldn't say terrified. It's just
different. It's going to be a
different.
very different world.
A very different world. Even the fact, we're just getting started in the normal big kid school, right? But even things like incorporating technology into education at
yes.
such a young age, and the fact that my child knows how to work the remote that feels like a little mini computer. I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wild. But I
Yes.
will say, and research shows this, right? I know you obviously love research too. There's been a significant shift of interpersonal connection from younger generations now because of technology, right? Heaven
Exactly.
forbid we pick up a phone and have a conversation, or
Actually talk to somebody
Literally.
in person.
literally,
People
So-
kids, not all kids.
yeah.
A lot of young adults and kids are having a really hard time with social interactions.
which is creating anxiety for our generation, younger generations, and even their parents. I mean, there's so much research out there about just this shift of just the challenges of the social aspect.
Well,
of
and
it,
I
right?
think it plays into work ethic. I think it
Totally
plays into being proud of the work that you do, that drive, motivation. It's gonna be a huge phenomenon, in my opinion.
Totally. So I think that's a great transition to a concept that we've talked about recently that you're going to be launching very soon, if not already. So we'll make sure to link all the things that we're referencing in the episode today. But just supporting teenagers in this day and age with best practices to be able to sort of pave a path that they want, right? Let's talk through that.
Right. I recently had this epiphany. I mean, I've known it for a while, but something just gelled for me. It said, these teens and kids, like, they're getting the school, they're getting the education, but I'm seeing the lack in that educational piece to real life. So the social skills, the social awareness, how you even write emails or text messages, or if you're showing up for a babysitting job, right? How are you presenting yourself? So I see a really big disconnect. And so I decided I'm going to, host and launch a workshop for teens on how to make yourself stand out.
Yeah.
How to be the best version of yourself, how to be proud of your work, how to make a good first impression.
I love it.
And really the basics and the fundamentals that, we may take for granted. But I think with this technology, it's lost on how teenagers, adults, even how they interact. And COVID certainly didn't help anything.
Totally.
And
In
so
fact,
we're
probably set us back.
way back.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be hosting some workshops for teens in preparation, not just for college, but for next steps in life, whether that's the workforce, whether that's college, whether that's paving your path, whatever that is, but to set you up for success with these foundations and these fundamentals.
So what sort of principles will you go over? High level outline.
First impressions. Number one, your body language, your smiling, how you prepare for a job interview, even if it's just babysitting or a dog walker or a checker at the grocery store, right? It's like all those things matter.
Totally.
How to ask questions, how to engage with people, how to carry on conversations. And then I'm going to incorporate an element of strengths into this workshop. And this is where my theory and research, and I love these concepts of when deciding what you want to do in your life and what path you want to take, what are you naturally good at? What are your strengths? And let's get you aligned on a path that caters to what you're great at. And so it's going to be very comprehensive and my goal is to set these young folks up for success, to be the best version of themselves, to be good, productive citizens in the world, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And I feel like those are life skills. I don't
life
know how
skills.
else to say
I guess
it.
that's
Life
what I
skills.
would. That's what I would.
Those are life skills.
That's what I would boil it down to is life skills.
Right.
Positive life skills that no matter which field you go in, which path you go in, will serve you well. That's transferable to all.
Which is a great time to be doing that because those are pivotal years. Those teenage high school years are pivotal. Again, whether it's paving the way for education after high school or working or whatever that looks
Whatever
like.
it looks like.
Yeah. Even just you triggered me with the babysitter thing. It's like
Right.
the things that they're just like, I don't know if they don't know better.
I don't think they know better. So I mean, I think we have to teach it.
Yeah.
You leave things better than you found it. You clean up after yourself. You put away the dishes. You show up on time. You confirm the meeting or the appointment the night before. You show up dressed appropriately.
I was going to say attire.
I mean, and you get off your phone when you are with little kids.
Yeah.
You get off your phone.
Which I've now had to talk to babysitters about,
Yes.
like the ground rules in our house. Like that's
Yes.
at the top of the list. No phone.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, but it's like, wow, I guess we have to say that now.
And that's what I want to teach is these very basic
Yeah.
skills that will serve people well.
Well, I think it's tremendously valuable. I can guarantee we'll have a bustling
Yeah, people
group.
have already asked me about it.
I'm
Oh my gosh.
Sure. I'm sure it can't come soon enough. The ones that have seniors about to graduate, they're probably like, Gia, where were you 3-4 years ago, right? So I obviously, again, we'll definitely share more about that, which is fantastic. So let's dive into the strengths.
Sure.
Do you call it strengths-based training, essentially?
Strengths-based leadership.
Strengths-based
Finder.
leadership.
It's called Clifton Strengths Finder.
Okay. How did you, I mean, you're constantly learning.
Oh, yes. I love
researching all
learning.
of it.
That's one of my things is I'm always reading, always researching. I love it. But really, I love learning the concepts to better my skills and my business. But this is a concept called strengths-based leadership or strengths-based training, where the whole philosophy is, what if we stopped focusing on what's not right, but let's focus on what's right? Let's focus on our strengths versus your weaknesses. And it's a little bit of a flip of the script. Most people, they take their strengths for granted. But it's like, but I got to get this better. I have to do this better. I have to do this better. And yes, you do. You have to get to a point where you are able to do it and you're capable. However, if you focus on your strengths and you are aligned with either your work or your hobbies or whatnot, you will excel that much more. Your work doesn't feel like work. It is in complete alignment with what you naturally do well. So again, it's like a flip of the script. So for leaders, for example, if you can tap into your team's strengths and give them the projects or the whatnot that align with it, your product is going to be that much better.
That's amazing. I mean, in theory, it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
But I think that we all get lost in the day-to-day grind.
We do.
I mean, I'm guilty of it. We've talked about this 1,000 times.
Of course.
You're just not surviving, but kind of.
You're
like surviving, not thriving sometimes.
Yes.
It's like we're just getting through. We're all just doing our jobs. We don't take a step back to sort of assess and think, these are the things I'm really strong in.
Right.
These are the areas that I want to continue to grow in, or maybe stray away from if they're not a strength, right?
Right. So again,
interesting.
All your jobs can't be only aligned with your strengths. We're going to have to do things that aren't to make our job, to be well at our job. However, but are we mostly aligned? Am I having the most impact? And when strengths are aligned with your job and the organization, you get more creativity, more engagement, less turnover, more trust, and the employee or the client, you have purpose. When Maslow, Abraham Maslow, the psychologist, says you reach your highest point of the pyramid, which is your self-actualization. That's your purpose. And when you are aligned with strengths and the other bottom parts are fulfilled, your work matters and you have purpose and you are satisfied.
I mean, also, that's just like, wow, chills, echoing everything you're saying. And what do they say? When you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work.
That's exactly it.
It's just like,
when you
makes
love it,
sense. Everything you're saying. If all those things are aligned,
then
if people are feeling fulfilled and that they have purpose and that they're providing value and all of that, like it just all comes.
Right. And the beautiful thing with the Strengths Finder is like no two people are the same. So there's 34 different.
Really?
I mean, very rare, right? So it's there's 34 different strengths, and you answer like 200 kind of behavioral questions. It sounds like a lot, but it's just you have to identify which factor you identify more with. So it's really easy. But there's 34 different strengths, and then through the calculation, through your answers, it'll give you your top 5 strengths. And I think there's over 34 million combinations of people's top 5 strengths. So if you are able to understand what drives you, understand what motivates you, the work doesn't feel like work.
Yeah. So when we were talking about this in prep for this episode, I thought, in Gia, you told me your top 5. I was like, this is literally spot on. We share your top 5.
Okay. So my top 5 are maximizer, developer, achiever, positivity, and empathy. And after I took this, I realized that I subconsciously, not even realizing, have created a career path in my job that is in complete alignment with my strengths.
100%.
Which is amazing. And that's why I always tell folks, I'm like, my work doesn't even feel like work. It's fun for me.
Yeah.
And people are like, how do you go and public speak? That's fun for you. I said, yeah, it's no big deal. But when you're strong at something, you don't even realize it about yourself.
Totally.
So, Rae, what are do
I know.
you remember
I
yours?
need to grab mine.
Oh.
It's like when you read a horoscope.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's totally happened to me today. My top 5 are futuristic, achiever, belief, positivity, and communication.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't describe you. I don't know what does.
It's wild. And, it reminded me, I think I told you this too. Remember, obviously you remember, the Myers-Briggs test.
Myers-Briggs, yes.
Like the
Yes.
ENFJ or whatever. This is way more in depth and personalized, I think. And don't you think it's more like, it's less about your occupation, more about your character, like your personality,
it's
your characteristics,
you as a person,
right?
Yeah. And yes, it's about you as a person, what drives you, what feels good.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is for young people and people that are already in the workforce, like, to understand this. So you go into a career or a profession or a job or a college or whatnot that caters to or nurtures your strengths.
Yeah.
And
is
I'll just give
amazing.
a personal example.
Yes.
So I have 2 boys, and my older son, Luke, is extremely knowledgeable in NFL history, stats, plays, rosters. Really uncanny that he has this memory for it. And I was talking to my husband, I said, Andrew, he has to do something that is aligned with these strengths. And people will talk to him like, Luke, how do you know that? And he's like, I don't know. I just know it. Right. And so that's his strength.
Right.
So, this past summer, I found a sports analytical course at UCLA. And instead of doing a summer camp for, like a
river camp or
whatever,
something.
whatever, we aligned him and took him to UCLA for a week to do the sports analytical course. And I think the next one, we're going to look into sports broadcasting. And but it helps channel people's strengths to this. And when you're not working with your strengths, it's very difficult, very hard. So I'm going to have you do an exercise.
Okay. Oh, we're doing some exercises.
So I had Rae get a piece of paper. So Rae,
I'm going to get a piece of paper.
I want you to fold it in half.
Like hot dog or hamburger?
It doesn't matter. Either way.
I'll do it this way.
Okay. Now, open it up. On one side, I want you to write your name, Rae Pardini Matson. However, hold on.
Oh.
I want you to do it with your non-dominant hand. Write your first.
Okay.
Write your name.
Cheated. Write my name with my non-dominant hand. Gia, I don't even think I could write my. Oh my gosh. When is the last time that you did this? Wow. This is challenging. It looks like my daughter's hand. Love you, girls. They're getting the letters backwards. Wow, that is extremely challenging.
Okay,
I'm going to cross that out.
Okay, now on the other side, write it with your dominant hand.
Okay. My dominant hand is equally messy.
No, it is not.
I do have messy handwriting, though. Okay.
Okay. So,
wow.
What did you notice when you had to do it with your non-dominant hand? What did you hear? What did I hear? I heard, oh my gosh, this is challenging. I can't do this. This looks like a elementary school person. This is really, really hard. I don't think I've done this for a long time. Now, when you do it with your dominant hand, easy peasy, you don't even think about it. So when you're not working within your strengths, it's
Which,
almost,
by the way, look at that artwork.
It's as if you are working on your non-dominant hand. You can do it. It's just not going to be great.
That's a really great reference. Wow.
So that's how important
it's like
it is.
You do this for a living.
Yeah. So
that
anyway, I'm going to incorporate strengths discovery into this workshop. I'm going to use it with my clients and
amazing.
Yeah.
I even want like Michael to take it.
Yeah.
I feel like I want our team to take it. You also are facilitating workshops for teams to do it, which I think is so great. Because I think, again, I mean, at least with my team, we're small but mighty and we're close. And a lot of us have worked together for many years. And you sort of, I don't want to say get set in your ways, but we all kind of like are just,
set in your
chugging along.
In your ways.
Yeah.
And the whole point is let's unleash the potential of the team.
Yeah.
So,
love that.
I realistically, in organizations, you're not going to restructure everyone's job duty.
Yeah.
That's not possible.
What are these for? Are these for the same for you? What do these mean on the bottom?
So each strength is, there's 4 different like realms or themes. And so there's an executing theme, influencing, relationship building, and strategic thinking. So these are the kind of the different domains. And then the individual strengths will fall under one of these domains. So it gives you a visual representation of if you.
So yeah, interesting.
So for me, I don't have any of my top 5 strengths in strategic thinking, because that is not my strong suit. That's why I've hired you to do my strategic thinking for me. But I'm really high in relationship building.
Yes.
Okay, so it just gives you a visual of, and most people are not balanced, and it's very eye-opening. And then we do this for the team as well. We chart out the team, and you can see where there's gaps, see where you're strong, and then how do you fill those gaps if you're low on those gaps.
So I have one of each of the 4.
Well, you're very balanced.
I mean,
yeah.
It's interesting that I'm stronger in executing, because I am a doer, obviously, but I mean, based on my results. But I also feel like I have so many ideas that I haven't been able to execute yet.
Right. There's also reality, too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had unlimited funds and unlimited time and resources, you would be running the world, girl.
Those minor details, time and money, those things. Oh, this is amazing, Gia. So you're going to be incorporating this for students in your sort of teen workshop, life skills, we'll call it.
And that's going to be a launching point. And then I even have, I even have some ideas in the works with college, with resumes. I have some outsourcing folks that I want to work with. So if people take this workshop and they want to dive into this more, we could schedule offshoot sessions or one-off sessions, or someone's like, I need to work on I have college stuff. I don't know how to apply. You take this with them. They take this with them to the college planner. Say, this is what I'm good at. These are what I'm interested in. What options would you recommend that are off the beaten path? You know, college is not just these 4 universities that we hear over. There's thousands of schools. There's thousands of professions out there, and you just got to find the right one.
Right? Gosh. And I mean, you're so blessed that you're working in an industry that you studied.
Yeah.
Right? That's amazing.
That is amazing.
And obviously you went into even further higher education, and I see that with other professionals, right? Like lawyers and doctors, like very specialized, are obviously practicing what they learned. I'm an example of somebody who did not study what they're doing. Now, basic best practices with business, absolutely. But I definitely can honestly say that very minimal skills of what I learned in the classroom in college are translated to my career. I'm a strong believer in hands-on opportunities and work experience, which I think this is going to be a really great tool for students to pave the path to potentially even get the experience in areas that they are not only interested in, but clearly have strengths in.
And it will help narrow or guide the path. And I think that's what I want to focus on. It's just going to guide you a little bit. I mean, trial and error. And just because you have a strength does not mean you're successful. So you have a talent, right? People have natural talents. But in order for a talent to become a strength, it takes hard work. It takes dedication. It takes skill. It takes discipline. So just because you have talents does not equal strengths. There's more to the story. However, your talents will guide you towards what you are interested in to become in alignment.
That just, for some reason, when you just said that, I am immediately thinking of like athletes, right? You can see from a young age that they're talented kids, that they're naturally more athletic than others, but it's about how they apply themselves.
Yes, and
that is a big factor, right? Like, are they putting in the work to practice? Are they diligent with their time? Like all those things you just mentioned. Right.
And even in the leadership coaching and all of in this particular workshop, there's a performance formula. So performance,
love that,
is your ability plus your times your motivation times your environment. Okay, so ability. Do I have the skills to do it? Do I know how to do it? Do I have the natural talent to be a good athlete, to be a successful person? Do I actually know how to do the things?
Mm-hmm.
Motivation. Am I motivated to do it? Do I get up and put in the work and put in the time and do the hard work? All the things. And the environment is, does your environment support this? Do you have the right technology to do what you need to do? Do you have the right equipment? Do you have the right gear? Do you have the right platforms to do it? So when a client calls me because there's a problem or a performance problem, I pull out this equation and I ask them, what's 1,000 times 1,000 times 0? 0. Or what's 0 times 1,000 times 1,000? 0. Or vice versa. So all three of those things have to be working in conjunction for performance to occur. But all three have to be together. You could have, so let's say you are really motivated to do something. You have all the tools and you have all the things to be successful, but you actually don't know how to do the actual work or the job. You're not going to be successful. You can be as motivated as you want. You have the best tools possible, but if you don't have the skills, you're not going to have performance.
Yeah.
Okay. Or you know how to do the job really well. You have all the tools, but you have no motivation, no umph. You're not going to do it well either.
Yeah.
Or you have the skills and the knowledge, you have the motivation, but you don't have the right tools or environment to make you successful. You can't do it if you don't have the computer or the right program or the right things. Your performance is not going to be great either. So all three of those things, and that have to be in conjunction, working together. And that when I break it down with clients, it's very easy for them to say, this is where this is
the
low,
area. Yeah.
and this is where we need to do.
Yeah. Amazing.
It's really, it's all this shift, big stuff helps narrow it down to isolate this area.
So not to like totally dive into this because we could have a whole other separate podcast about this, but how do you sort of apply some of these principles to motherhood?
Oh gosh, you apply all of them to motherhood.
Right?
Well, being a mother, you're the ultimate leader.
Yeah.
You are their North Star, right? And every single one of these things that I teach in my leadership consulting can be applied to motherhood.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, even when you were just talking about that, I'm thinking about my children. I'm like, oh interesting. Okay.
Every single thing, your presence, how you handle conflict, your communication, what's your body language saying? What's your tone of voice saying? There is an analogy that I want to use, and is by Dr. Becky.
We both love Dr. Becky.
But she talks about sturdy leadership or sturdy parenting. Okay. So, and to me, this kind of sums it, all these nuances, all these details, it kind of sums it all up. So you're on an airplane and either you're hitting turbulence and the pilot gets on. It's like, oh my gosh, guys, like, I don't know what to do. Does anybody know how to handle these turbulence? People are going to get nervous. Or they get on, the pilot gets on, it's like, hey, if we're hitting turbulence, does anybody really know how to land this plane? I don't know. I don't really know how to do it. People are going to be nervous. Or if the pilot gets on, it's like, listen, folks, we're hitting some turbulence. Take your seat. Calm, cool, buckle your seatbelt. We're going to get over it. You have complete faith in this pilot.
Yeah.
So that applies to leadership. Every single one of these topics applies to leadership and motherhood. And for me, I'm a visual person too. I did my vision board this year, and I always think about like, what kind of mother do I want to be?
Yes.
I want to be like their North Star. So
sweet.
I put on my vision board a picture of a lighthouse.
Cute.
And it's called Lighthouse Parenting.
Yeah, I love.
Where what do you think of when you see a lighthouse?
Yeah, like that's the direction to go.
You go towards it. You follow it. That gives you a guidance. It's not, it's like, that's what I want to be.
Yeah,
I want
so great
to be the lighthouse parent where they come to me and I help guide them or set them on the right path. And obviously you're gonna have to step in different areas, whatnot. But I want them to be these self-sufficient little resilient people. But I want to help guide them. But they're gonna learn along the way, and they're gonna make mistakes, and they're gonna do all the things. But it's teaching the accountability. It's teaching the conflict, how you resolve conflict. It's teaching how you communicate, building the trust. All of it.
All of it.
And nobody's
Gosh.
perfect, and you learn by your mistakes.
Right?
You do.
That's
you
just
do.
part of it. We're human. We're just
Yeah.
doing our best, right? I'll never forget when you told me one of the boys asked you if you were smart. That was years ago, wasn't it? Which one asked you that? Was it Luke
I think
or
it was
Austin?
Luke. This
Yeah.
was many years ago, and we were talking, and we were sitting at the table, and I was talking about work or something, and they stopped like mid eating, and like, wait, Mom, are you smart? Like the thought could never even cross their mind that I wasn't just Mom. I was like,
Yeah.
well, I work really hard.
Yeah.
I study hard. I would say so. Mind blown that Mom could
my
also
God.
be smart.
Mom could also be smart. That's like when my kids see their teachers out in public.
Oh yeah,
They're like,
they're real people.
they're real people
Yeah.
too. It's like that Us Weekly series.
Yes.
Like celebs.
Just
They're
like
just
us.
like us. This was so fun.
Yes,
Gia.
Rae,
Gosh, thank you.
Oh, thank you. I could sit here and talk all day.
I
if you
know.
wanted
Okay.
to.
In closing, a fun personal fact about you, which is really great. And a way that you give back to our community
Oh,
is
yeah.
Snickers.
Yes.
Tell us about
Oh,
Snickers. You're not just a mom. You're a
Oh,
doggy
yes.
mom.
Well, I am a doggy mom, which is crazy to me because I was not a dog person at all. Had a bad incident growing up. Terrified of dogs. So the fact that this is happening is like full circle. But
Yeah.
Snickers is that emotional therapy dog, and so we go to the Cal Veterans Home. We go to old age homes. We do some different public entities where he provides emotional support for
So
people that need it. So we go and volunteer, and
you bring the boys.
when schedules allow, I take
Yes.
the kids with me so they can
Yes.
see it as well. And it's just a win-win for all, and it makes such a big difference
So
for
rewarding.
people.
Yeah.
So Snickers.
And that's not like why you got Snickers. Though. You
No,
got
not at
Snickers
all.
first, and then
Not
it
at
kind of
all.
evolved,
Yes,
right?
yes, such a sweet boy. No, that was not the intent at
Yes,
all.
yes.
I knew I wanted to do some philanthropic stuff, and
Sweet.
I just wasn't sure what that looked like. And one of the employees at PetSmart told me, they're like, he's such a sweet boy. He should become a therapy dog. And I said, that's what I want to do.
Oh my gosh.
So I got him trained and certified.
Oh, you have to
and-
do. That
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. So he had to pass his certification.
Look at you, kid, learning on all fronts. Continuing
my
that
God.
education.
Yeah. Oh, it's so
In
nerdy.
all
I know.
the
I know. It is what it is.
Snickers is the best. That's
Dude.
so sweet. I
He's
love
a
it.
funny boy.
Thanks, Gia. This was
Thank
so fun.
you.
I'll make sure to link your website, giakazarian.com, all your social media channels, get everybody access to your trainings. And I'm
Yes.
so grateful.
Yeah.
for
Thanks,
you.
Rae.
Cheers,
Oh,
friends.
cheers.
Coffee cheers.
Coffee always.
Thanks for listening. Feel free to rate and review this episode here and connect with us on Instagram if you have any thoughts, questions, or any guest suggestions. Thanks.